Hi, this is Marcia Vaca with Vaca Associates Family Checks and Balances. I wanted to spend just a few minutes with you today going over an exercise that I use with a lot of my families. This is when there's a lot of different siblings involved, maybe aunts and uncles, and maybe you're even bringing in professional caregivers. And it just helps, this exercise helps everybody get really clear on who's willing to do what, who can do what, and helps you ensure that expectations are fulfilled without anyone getting upset or angry with one another, hopefully avoiding all those huge conflicts, right? So I like to call this I want and I don't want, I can and I can't, I will and I won't. So let me show you the worksheet. With this worksheet, I sit down with everybody around the table, including the mother, the father, the grandparent, whoever needs the care and support. If they can be at the table, I have them at the table as well. And here's what you go over. This is particularly true for all of those folks around that table that will be part of the caregiving support for your loved one. The first box says what I can do. This means that here's what I can do. I can fix a broken sink or toilet. I can worry about paying the bills. I can handle filling med trays. I know how to give injections and I'm happy to do that. So it's all those things that everyone around the table fills out their own form and they say, here's what I can do. They've got the knowledge base, the skill set, or just the interest in doing those things. But the next box over says what I cannot do. So yeah, okay, maybe mom needs daily insulin injections and shots. And you say, I can't do that. I don't have that skill set. I don't know how to do that. So that obviously is where you would put, nope, I can't do the injections, or I can't fix the toilet if the toilet breaks, or I can't fix a leaking faucet in the bathroom or the kitchen, or I can't help figure out what's going on with the microwave. Whatever the issues might be that mom or dad or grandpa or grandma, whoever your loved one is, whatever they might need. So you put in there based on what your loved one's needs are, what I can do, and then what I cannot do. The next row down says what I want to do. Most of us come to caregiving with some kind of idea as to what we would like to do. Now, we may not fully understand at that point in time with this conversation everything that our loved one might need to have done for them, but we might come with some assumptions in terms of here's what I want to do. And so you put down there, yeah, I want to help pay the bills and balance the checkbook. I want to go out and buy the food every week. I want to be able to do the meal prep and leave them with dishes in the refrigerator, in the freezer that they can easily microwave. I want to be the one making any home repairs. I want to be the one going to all the doctor appointments because I want to hear directly from the doctor what the doctor is saying. Whatever those I want to kind of things you've put into that box. Now, in the box next to it, it says what I do not want to do. Mom or dad, they may need help bathing. And you may say, nope, I do not want to do that. When my dad had his stroke, he needed help bathing, showering. And I, as his daughter, I told everybody, he's my dad. I want to respect him as that. And I really don't want to be the one giving him showers. The same thing was true for me when it came to supporting my dad and helping him toilet because he was paralyzed on one side. And I just sort of said, nope, yeah, no, I don't want to help him go to the bathroom. Somebody else is going to have to do that. So figure out what it is that you want to do, but then be very clear about what you don't want to do. The last row, what I will do. Now, this is a very important box. This is definitely, here's what I'm willing to do. I can go to the grocery store. I can make meals and make sure they've got enough meals for 5 days. I can go to the doctor appointments. I've got time to do that. Not a problem. I can fill and will fill the med trays. Very comfortable with that. So whatever it is that you are very clear with yourself that you will do, and you're going to take responsibility for those. So don't put anything into that box that you're not willing to take responsibility for, and to make sure that if for some reason during that day or during that week or during that month, if you are unable to complete what you put into that box and everybody says, okay, that's yours, you're going to do that, well, then you need to make sure you've got somebody to back you up. All right. And then the last box in that row, what I will not do. And again, these are things, just sort of the bottom line things. Like for me, I will not give my dad a shower. Could I give him a shower? Do I know how to do that? Yes, I do. But nope, I'm not going to do it. I will not do it. So anything that you're adamant about that you do not want to be a part of, you don't want to be involved in, you don't want to do it, be honest up front with everybody else what you will not do. So then what you do, once everybody in the circle, everybody around the table gets their form filled out, you begin to compare notes. You begin to see, well, where we got some holes, because there might very well be some care and support needs that mom or dad or grandpa or grandma need. And through this process, you're going to be able to say, hey, you know what? Out of all the list of things that they need help with, here's the 2 things we don't have anyone to do or able to do or willing to do. And that then is where you want to say, let's go get the professional person to help us do those things. So see, it cuts down on a lot of the confusion. It makes sure that expectations are clear. You know exactly who you need to go looking for some extra support if you don't have all those care need areas covered for your loved one. It helps you then know how to talk to the doctors and the other medical professionals or healthcare professionals or whomever might be in terms of how you're going to manage the care for your loved one on a day-to-day basis. The other thing I can tell you is that I recommend to families that about once a month or so, or once every couple of months, depends on the situation, of course, that they get together and they do this whole exercise again. Because your loved one, their care needs and supports are going to change over time, such that, again, you might find that you never even thought they might need help with that. Or suddenly, they need the roof replaced. That hadn't been an issue 6 months ago. Now it's an issue. Who's going to worry about finding a contractor and making sure that the roof gets repaired the right way? So you can see that there's a lot of different areas over time that could change. So I always recommend to my families, at least take a look at this every 30 to 60 days, just to make sure you've still got all your bases covered. And then it just really helps everybody to stay focused. And like I say, if for some reason the very things you put into the box I will do, and I was going to say that is probably the most important box for everybody, okay? Between I want to do and I will do, those are the 2 most important boxes. Because you want to focus on what people are happy to do so they don't feel overburdened, they don't feel put upon, they don't get all stressed out about what they're being asked to do. So you want to focus on what I want to do and what I will do, particularly the box what I will do, because that's the box that you have to take responsibility for what you are willing to do, whether it's daily, every couple of days, once a week, once a month, whatever that might be. So I hope this helps a little bit. If you've got any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me. And I just hope this makes the whole family caregiving structure and activity go a little smoother and a little easier for you and your family and your loved one. Take care. Talk soon.